Hey guys, welcome to the Staffordshire County Showground. This year, playing host to one of the UK's premier fitness competitions, the Battle of Britain Throwdown 2019. We're here to take you through all the highlights of the weekend, and with over 60 athletes from 6 different countries competing, well, competition really was hotting up. So, maybe you're just out enjoying this gorgeous bank holiday sunshine, which, let's be honest, we're all missing indoors, or maybe you just want to relive it all over again. Well, don't worry, we've got you covered. Here's a little bit of what you've been missing out on. Okay, so I've made my way inside and I have been joined by Steve Fawcett. You might know him from, I don't know, CrossFit. I mean, Steve, what a weekend we've had. What have you made of it all so far? Have you been enjoying yourself?
Yeah, it's been great to watch. It's just been great to watch the events unfold, how I planned them in my head, and to see some athletes being kind of fully challenged, and then other athletes just rise into the challenge and just steaming through some of the workouts. Really good fun to watch.
Yeah, of course, because you have been drafted in to work on all the programming. This competition's obviously had a bit of a facelift over the last couple of years. How did you look to make it different?
Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure we got a full test of fitness. So we'd extended it to 3 days. There was the Friday and now we've got the Saturday and Sunday. So on the Friday we had a big long aerobic capacity test, which was 55 minutes cap. And then over the next 2 days just testing heavy on weightlifting, high gymnastic skill, gymnastics endurance, and then some more just like what they use to CrossFit.
Did you have a personal favourite?
They're all favourites. To be honest, I really enjoyed watching the event on Friday, the long one, the 10k for the other categories, and then the run and the rowing and burpees. It was good to see athletes outside of the comfort zone. A lot of athletes don't usually train that kind of long time domain, so it was really good to watch.
You're a sadist. Anyway, earlier on in the weekend, we went to chat to some of the athletes who were taking part about what they thought of Steve's programming. Big weekend, 3 days of competition. How do you tackle that amount of workload?
I just take it in my stride, yeah. I think it's going to be good fun. Yeah, can't wait. Looking forward to it.
Favourite workout?
The one today, I think. Yeah, looking forward to running, rowing, jumping over a fence.
It's not my bag, aerobic capacity, but you know, it's going to be fun. That's the main thing. Every workout looks different and fun, like the qualifiers.
Burpee over fence. How many times have you tried that at home?
Do you know what? Have you ever tried to run away from my mother? A few times. But no, anything burpees in my bag. Burpees and running are my favourite thing. So, and then I think tomorrow, seeing how people last over the weekend after this sort of event is going to be fun and games.
Alex, so you're coming into this competition having won the qualifiers, top the leaderboard in the qualifiers. Do you think that gives you an extra edge in this competition?
No, I think it's just added pressure because people obviously expect something from me, and I don't think it's any kind of edge at all. No.
Top of the leaderboard in qualifiers in terms of athletes who turned up today, puts you in pole position. You got this one in the bag?
Well, we'll see. Nickname Paula Ratcliffe, so we'll see how it goes on the run.
It's all what happens on the day, you know, you don't know how you're going to feel. We ran through these ones a couple of times on the programming, so I kind of got a rough idea of how they're going to feel, but hopefully that adrenaline will make me feel a little bit better and make me perform a little bit better.
It's a real test of fitness, like over the 3 days. It's really great to have it spread out rather than that, you know, 1 day of comp, all 10-minute power workouts really, so I think it's a much better test of fitness.
Well, they clearly loved you, didn't they, Stu? So when you look at the field of athletes over this weekend, let's look at the men's first. Who are the standouts for you?
You know, it's tough to call because the tests that I put out there, the 6 events, they're so varied that, you know, some people will do really well in some events and then drop behind on others. You know, standouts at the top of my head there, I know Evander Harewood is a top competitor, so I expect to see him up there in the guys. The girls is wide open, but I know there's a Megan Marchildron who's, I think it's the 7th competition she's done this year and she's been on the podium each time, so I'm sure she's ready to keep that going.
Wow, so keep your eyes on those two. You've heard it here from the horse's mouth. not calling you a horse. Let's take a little look at the opening event. Well, it all started off, as Steve said, with 3 rounds for time, and it was a 55-minute time cap. You're running 1,200 metres. The athletes are then going into a 30-calorie row before doing 21 burpees over a fence, then rowing a further 20 calories, 15 burpees over a fence, then rowing 10 more calories, and finishing with 9 burpees over the fence. I mean, that's going to hurt after a little while, Steve. You really made them pay for that one. Let's take a little look at how they got on. In the women's RX category, Heat 1 set off hot. The task, 3 rounds for time, run 1.2 kilometres, come back and row 30 calories on a rower before doing 21 burpees over a fence, going back to the rower for a further 20 calories, and then coming back to the fence for 15 burpees, rowing another 10 calories before doing 9 burpees over the final fence. Anyway, in Heat 1, it was Olivia Cook who took an early lead. Miss Withercombe gave her a run for her money early doors, but when the end was in sight, it was Olivia's consistency that shone as she crossed the finish line with almost 5 minutes to spare over her opposition, and that was enough to place her 3rd overall. The real story was when a group of athletes broke away early on in round 1. Rachel Pearson, a Belfast lass but hailing from CrossFit True Value, was more than a match for the rest of the field, finishing the workout with a 1 minute 50 to spare over her next nearest opposition. Amy Kringle placed 2nd in the heat and overall settles for 45 minutes 50 on the clock.
Endurance would be my sort of thing I quite enjoy. The run was hot, really, really hot, and I had a girl the whole way round in the first lap completely on my tail, so I went a lot faster than I thought I was going to go, and then just had to calm down. But I'm really, really pleased with that, but it's all going to go downhill from here, so just enjoy the rest of the experience, and it's really nice to be here, so thank you.
I mean, when you've got a workout that's that long, how do you pace yourself?
The run would probably be my strength, so I just decided to try and keep the pace on the run. Burpee, sort of try and push the last little bit, but keep a similar sort of pace. And the row, I tried to keep in and around 1,000 to 1,100 on calories. I went off far too fast and thought, what are you doing? I managed to rein it back, so I kind of had a bit of a plan. And the aim was to kind of stick to that and kind of then try and pick up the pace rather than slack off, because there's nothing worse than feeling like you're going slower. So it kind of went to plan, so I'm pleased.
The men's field, well, that was way more tightly contested with 3 heats and 4 minutes separating 1st from 5th. Pablo Green from the project took Heat 1 by storm with a 44.50 on the clock, but it was only enough to place him 12th on Friday's leaderboard. Heat 2 saw overall 5th place Christopher Coughlin, a Masters athlete from CrossFit Pendle, assert its dominance early on and hold it through to the finish line. Blevin Coleman and Sam Clark battled it out neck and neck for 2nd and 3rd in the heat, finishing 14th and 20th overall respectively, giving you a taste of how tight this category is. Heat 3 provided 1st, 2nd and 3rd on Event 1's leaderboard. Avon Humphreys with an unbelievable finish of 39 minutes 13 seconds in a 55-minute time cap. From the get-go, no one was catching him. Even qualifier leaderboard winner Alex Imbert claimed he had no hope of overtaking Avon. The story of the day was one very much of Avon Humphreys, an independent athlete who seems to be good at cardio and grunt work. Let's see if he can hold on to his top spot. Well, we're here and we've set up a game with the help of our friends at Nocco. So James here has basically lined up various flavours and we've dragged 2 poor unsuspecting women from the crowd. We have Debbie and Gemma who need to decide what Nocco it is they're drinking. So ladies, first of all, where are you from?
Stoke-on-Trent, Newcastle. We go to Newcastle for a bit.
Are you having a nice time here today? Who are you here supporting, and have you enjoyed what you've seen so far?
Yeah, it's been really good. We've come to see 2 of the judges here work at forfeit, so we come watch them.
So ladies, let's see how it goes. How well do you know your Nocco? So you're going to go from the left to the right and you're going to take a sip. So okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Right, so what do we think that is?
Vanilla.
Vanilla? Any?
Elderflower.
So James, are you going to tell us what it is?
Citrus elderflower.
Oh, 1-0. Okay, ladies, next cup. To you first, what do you think it is?
Tropical.
I think she might know her Nocco. What are your thoughts?
Not sure. I can't think what it is now.
What have we got, James?
Peach.
Oh, nothing there. So it's still 1-0. Right, third cup.
Tropical.
Going with tropical again, over here.
Tropical, I think.
Oh, equal. What have we got?
Everyone's favourite. Caribbean.
It's definitely my favourite. That's such a true story. But no, still 1-0. Right, ladies, fourth cup. That's a face that might know it or might not know it.
No, it is. It's sort of like, oh, what is it? Can I have another taste?
Yeah, of course you can. Have another taste. Thoughts?
Oh dear, I keep thinking watermelon, but it's nothing like watermelon.
Okay, well, we've got watermelon over here and...
Passion fruits.
So, watermelon or passion fruit?
Passion.
Oh, it's one of the new ones. That is a 2-0 win. Should we do the boxing thing? The boxing thing? Yes! She knows a Nocco, everybody! If you haven't heard of Nocco, you've obviously been living under a rock in the CrossFit world. But like James here, I'm sure he can tell us a little bit more about it. How is Nocco developing across the country? You've got loads of cool athletes on board. I mean, there's a real buzz about this kind of drink.
It's available, and as probably most people know, most CrossFit gyms have got it. In time, it's growing. It's now available in Asda, like Ocado, WH Smith's, maybe Morrison's soon. So soon the availability will be everywhere rather than just in select gyms.
And new flavour, limited edition. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Yeah, so Miami strawberry. Some people might not know, but they can actually change its colour. This sun here will actually change if it's cold enough. We haven't actually promoted that yet, but that should be coming out sometime soon.
So that's all from us at the Nocco stand, but we've still got plenty of events to take you through. Let's take a little look at event 2. It's a bit different from that cardio WOD. Yes, it's weightlifting. That's exactly what we needed, because who wants to run for 55 minutes, eh? It's a 12-minute time cap, and in the first 6 minutes of a running clock, you've got to complete a 2-rep max hang snatch. In the second 6 minutes to 12 minutes, you've got to complete a 1-rep max clean, front squat, and jerk. Well, it's time to find out who the big lifters are. Let's see how our athletes get on with this one.
Workout 2 could not be further from Friday's Cardio Fest. 2 weight complexes attempted by the whole field. A 12-minute running clock, and in the first 6 minutes, all athletes had to attempt a 2-rep max hang snatch, which some found easier than others. The clock ran on, and throughout the second 6 minutes, all athletes had to perform a max clean, front squat, and jerk. This was one for the big lifters, and on the face of it, it would look to even out the leaderboard after yesterday's endurance WOD. Having placed third in yesterday's workout, it was Olivia Cook who came out on top of event 2, alongside Megan Marshilden and Rachel Hill of Elite Performance Labs. Olivia had done enough to put herself top spot in this competition, but it was this lift from Rachel Hill that put a smile on our faces.
Okay, Rachel, I just saw you lift a 95-kilogram complex. I can only assume there's a PB and you're absolutely like out of this world thrilled.
Oh yeah, it's a massive PB. I haven't hit that for a clean or a jerk or anything, so it's huge. Yeah, it's massive.
What is it about the competition environment that gets you up to that kind of level?
Just, all the support that you get, you don't always get that in the gym. And being around, I'm with JSC anyway, so like being around so many of the athletes just massively lifts you up. It's crazy.
Okay, and a 70 kg snatch, were those numbers you had intended to hit?
I intended to hit 70, there was no way I intended to hit 95, but I went for glory on the snatch and tried to get 75. I hit it for a single but didn't get a double. And I hit 90 on the clean and jerk and went for glory and got 95, so sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't, so yeah.
On the men's side, it was Joe Cohen in Heat 2 that nailed down top spot for Event 2 with a combined lift of 257.5 kilograms. Absolutely massive. After 33rd place finish in yesterday's workout, that was a huge win.
I wanted anything over 130. My best is 150, so 147, I'm happy with that.
There was a 15 kilogram gap between Joe and the next nearest athlete. That was Toby Brown, who totaled a 242.5 kilogram lift. With 140 kilogram clean, that topped Heat 3.
It was the top end of what I was hoping to hit, to be honest. After failing what I wanted to hit on the snatch, it was a surprise, to say the least.
However, it's the qualified champion Alex Imbert who at this point is still holding the leaderboard. But can he hold on?
Don't you just love a heavy lifting WOD? That's Event 2 done and dusted, but before we turn our attention to Event 3, I went outside in the sunshine to have a little chat with a guy who's got a great story. Started out as a professional rugby player, but having had to retire from concussion, he's made a new life for himself and he started CrossFit to ease that transition. This is Tom Heathcote's story.
First competition?
Yes, first competition. So.
How are you finding it?
Yeah, good. I was a little bit nervous beforehand yesterday, just didn't really know like what to expect with the whole day and everything. But now the first event's out of the way, I'm pretty happy and just kind of looking forward to the rest of the weekend, really.
Saw you on a rower in the first workout. Went, I know that guy. Can you just give us a little bit of like a context of how I recognised you?
How I ended up here.
Yeah.
So used to play rugby for Bath and Edinburgh and then Worcester, and stopped playing at the end of last season, so almost a year ago now. Kind of took up CrossFit pretty much as soon as I stopped playing, as kind of something to, I guess, take away the itch, get rid of the itch from not needing to do something physical and wanting something vaguely competitive to get into, and CrossFit seemed to fit the bill.
What happened with the rugby? You're only 27. It's a fairly young age to retire.
So my last couple of seasons pretty much kind of decimated with concussions, really. So and it just kind of got to the stage where it was just getting a bit kind of silly. That was just kept happening. So I decided, to kind of. Obviously, Worcester, with all that had gone on, said they weren't going to renew my contract, and I decided to step away, just thinking that it was probably for the best.
Difficult decision to make?
I think so. Like, there was the few options to maybe keep playing in the championship or in the lower leagues. In the end, decided to step away. Kind of focus on something else and kind of jump into the real world.
So which box did you first step into, and what was your initial reaction?
First box I actually went into was when I was still living in Worcester, which was Bullpen Fitness there. So I actually started training with Will Kane a little bit. It was obviously diving straight in at the deep end with him, and had a few good sessions there. And then I moved back to my place just outside Bath, so started training at the bridge, which is actually in Trowbridge, so I live a bit closer to there.
Ollie Mansbridge, the bridge?
Yes, and Laura Faulkner as well. I've had some good people to help me out since I started.
Who would win on a one-on-one, you or Laura?
Oh, Laura would beat me every time, unless it's just rowing. Or just rowing wall as 19.1.
Yeah, 19.1, you've got sewn up.
Yeah, but apart from that, she'll beat me every time.
Have you found your lingo's changed? You're able to talk like, fluent CrossFit?
CrossFit lingo, CrossFit chat is definitely coming.
It gets you quick, doesn't it? Suddenly it's from 0 to 1,000, and right now you're a CrossFitter.
You can speak in all WOD and Metcon and EMOM terms and everything like that. It all kind of gives your own language, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you said like when you moved from rugby, you had that kind of camaraderie and that team ethos. I assume that's what attracts you to doing CrossFit and being part of a CrossFit box, because it's so similar in that capacity.
Yeah, definitely. From that side of it, just to be kind of training with other people, and I guess all kind of going to dark places with everyone else, which is what you would do kind of both on the pitch and in training, rugby-wise. And at the same time, just being able to do something physical and train for something.
You feel you're settled in your post-rugby life?
Yeah, pretty much. Like I'm obviously, still a long way to go in CrossFit, always improving everything, but it's certainly enjoying the training and enjoying kind of the process of improvement and working towards something. Yeah, definitely.
A really cool story there from Tom Heathcote. But let's turn our attention to event 3. And now theoretically it's the second event on Saturday. The muscles aren't that tired yet and you haven't been doing that much, but that doesn't mean that this one isn't going to hit them right where it hurts. So it's a time cap of 25 minutes. They're to run 400 metres and then it's 6 rounds of 8 toes to bar, 32 air squats and a row of 50 calories. Now if you get through all of that, you're then going on to another 6 rounds of 4 bar muscle ups and 16 box overs. So in theory, it doesn't sound like that much work, does it? I am horribly lying to you. Well, let's see how they all got on.
Event 3 saw athletes run 400 metres before going into 6 rounds of 8 toes to bar and 32 air squats. That was then broken up by a 50-calorie row and followed by 6 rounds of 4 muscle-ups and 16 box overs. Don't underestimate this one, it's gassy and it had a 25-minute time cap. Heat 1 saw an epic attempt from French athlete Viacette Mavor. Even though she dominated the heat, it was only enough for a 10th place finish overall for Mavor. Heat 2 saw current 10th place Amy Kringle first on the rower, closely followed by Rach Pearson, Lindsay Benson and Lauren Calvert in hot pursuit. But it was Rach Pearson who came off that rower first. During the muscle-ups and box overs, Megan Marchant battled into second place alongside Kringle, Rach Pearson and Caroline Williams. Despite being late off the rower, the current first-place athlete Olivia Cook took advantage of some seriously effortless box overs, making up time and cruising to an easy victory over the field, 2 minutes in hand. Amy Kringle settles for second and Caroline Williams in third. So it's Olivia who finishes the day with 2 first-place finishes and a third.
The lifting workout we did, that went really well for me. It wasn't a PB, but it was definitely close to it. It was a PB on the snatch, so I feel like I did okay on the lifting ones, and then with this one I should be okay. Yeah.
That kind of workout, where was it won? Was it being able to do the sets unbroken? Because we saw a lot of people fall off when it got to the muscle-up box jump over stage.
For me, I approached it very tactically. I know I'm a strong runner, so I was I'll gain a bit of pace, but I'm not going to be at the front of the pack. I don't want to be maxed out. And then I knew I was going to go slow on the air squats and toes to bar to get my heart rate down. Go slow on the rower. I didn't mind if people overtook me. And then with the bar muscle ups, I knew that was where people would kind of be having to break it up, and I was I'm going to go unbroken on this and just really pick up the pace. But I had to slow it down before that to do that.
Event 3 men's heat 1 was once again dominated by Pablo the Pirate. His words, not mine. He came in first off the run and continued his domination right through to the finish, setting a time to beat of 17 minutes 29 seconds. Heat 2 saw Chris Coughlin and Sam Clark first in from the run, Sam Clark taking an early lead. It's the same head-to-head we were treated to in workout 1, and this time around Sam Clark pulled ahead to be first on the rower. At this point it was Honey Badger Evander Harwood who began to gain ground with Kevin Rodolfo in hot pursuit, but he couldn't do enough to prevent Harwood winning the heat and 8th overall on the leaderboard. Heat 3 was once again the story of Avan Humphreys. From a run through the first 6 rounds of toes to bar and squats, he was comfortably a round and a half ahead of Alex Imbert in the opening exchanges. 1 round behind Avan, Jordan Shuttleworth comes into contention, touching down 3rd in the event and boosting him to 3rd overall on the leaderboard as we close the day out. But it's Avan who takes event 3. Looking ahead to Sunday, well, it's Evander Harwood who's in first place, Alex Imbert, he sits in second, and Mark Williams and Jordan Shuttlesworth, well, they tie in 3rd place.
What was the secret to that one? Because it looked pretty difficult.
Secret, listen to Stephen Fawcett by not going 100% and pacing it, sticking with a pace that you can maintain, and just don't go hell for leather on the air squats and box jumps because your quads blow up. So
Funny you should say that, because if I've heard anything about you, it's that you like to get yourself into a hole and just see how long you can hold it. Has Steve Fawcett finally got you to see the ways of pacing a good workout?
Yeah, well, you learn from the master. So I've seen Jack, David Sharon, Josh Alchama, all the top GST guys not go out hell for leather and just hold on to a pace and then finish strong. So if I want to be up there, I've got to try and do what they do.
So the last time I saw you was at Strength in Depth. What did you learn from that competition that's helping you out there this weekend?
Just don't eat loads of chocolate before an event. I've been trying my nutrition, trying to get that on point before competition, so I'm not dying.
That Avon Humphreys, he's particularly good in those cardiovascular awards, isn't he? There's literally no catching him. He's like around ahead of the rest of the field. Anyway, it was an exceptionally important win for him because having done fairly poorly, I would say, by his standards in the weightlifting and coming right down the bottom of the pack, those two high-end finishes in the cardiovascular workouts, well, they're keeping in contention to be those top 40 finishers who will go on into the final. Anyway, that is us wrapping up day 2. Let's take a little look at the leaderboard and see who's managed to clinch those top spots. Well, for the women, it's still Olivia Cook in first place after 2 firsts and a 3rd place finish overall. Quite frankly, it doesn't really look like anyone's going to be catching her. But then you've also got Megan Marshilden. She is hailing from CrossFit Buxton with a 4th place finish in that final workout. That pushed her up the leaderboard, followed by Caroline Williams. Again, that final workout proving the difference as she takes 3rd and 3rd. Lauren Calvert in 4th place. And we have Lindsay Benson of CrossFit Chester picking up 5th. So on the men's side, you've got Evander Harwood. He takes 1st spot. You might remember Evander from Strength in Depth. He's one of those guys who just likes to go out all guns blazing and just hopes he can hang in there. So really good to see Evander on top of the leaderboard. Alex Imbert, our qualifier leader, he's in 2nd place. A 19th place finish on that last WOD. I don't think that's helped him, but it certainly hasn't hindered his progress. And then our very own Clark Kent, Mark Williams, he's in 3rd, a joint 3rd, in fact, with Jordan Shuttleworth. Jordan finishing 3rd in that final workout. It was probably the difference between him being top 10 versus top 3, so a really important workout for Jordan. So some happy athletes on top of our leaderboard, but with 3 events left to go, as we all know, a lot can change in a day. So make sure you tune in to part 2 of the highlight show of the Battle of Britain Throwdown 2019. Thanks for sticking with us. We'll see you later.